In this video, I'm going to show you how to check your YouTube video SEO ranking. Now there's a lot of tools out there that just give you garbage data and it shows this score that's increasing. I'm going to show you how those work and don't work. I'm going to show you something that works way better. This will break things down way more granularly, like way more tactically, and you'll be able to monitor your progress over time because SEO or any type of organic campaign takes some time and you've got to be able to track progress over time. I'm going to start out by showing you what tools to not use, okay? So if you go to YouTube and you type in this question, how to discipline a child that lies and steals, notice you find Nicolene Peck at the top. I produced that channel. She's filmed these videos right here in this filming house, but she's at the top of YouTube, and yet vidIQ is saying her score is 32 out of 100. Or if you go into the Creator Studio and you look at the analytics, it says TubeBuddy SEO score says it's 50%, telling me that there's a lot of things that I need to improve. I'm only halfway there, but yet this video is ranking at the top. Here's another one. If you type in how to become a construction project manager, notice who's at the top there, Jason Schroeder. He also films here at this filming house. It says it's a score of 51. If you click on this little question mark, it says the overall score is determined to help gauge how effective this keyword would be in your video optimization efforts. If you have 1 million or more subscribers, you might be able to break into this highly competitive term. With a smaller channel, it's better to yada, yada, yada. Okay, look at this. We've gotten 27,000 views on this video from a channel with 27,000 subscribers. So that's way less than 1 million, and yet it's getting us results. We're ranking at the top of YouTube. Here's one from me. If you type in how to check YouTube keyword ranking, I got a video in 3rd position there, so I call that ranking at the top. And yet my optimized score is only 68 out of 100. And talking about YouTube on YouTube is extremely competitive. Let me show you a different report. This is Jason Schroeder. We're looking at the last 90 days compared to the 90 days prior to that, okay? And we're looking at views from search. So in the 90 days prior, he had 79,000 views from search. In the last 90 days, he's had 87,000 views from search. So that's a very significant increase. So instead of looking at these phony scores of, ooh, this has got an SEO score of blank, you can actually look at your search traffic and see that it's increasing from month to month or from quarter to quarter. So looking at one more example here, this is Nicolene Peck, the parenting expert, but we're comparing 28 days to the 28 days prior. Again, this is search traffic, and in the 28 days prior, just under 26,000 views, to now over 28,000 views. How do I know if my YouTube video is ranking for the keywords I targeted? The easiest way is to go to YouTube, type that question into the bar, and see how you rank. So that's what we did for each of these. So if you look on July 11th, there's all these no's and yeses. A yes means that we're in the top 3. You don't have to scroll down. Starting means you have to scroll down, but in this case we found Jason in the top 20. And a no means, nope, we don't show up, we don't rank for that. So if you go through and you just search for all of these in the YouTube search bar, you can find out what your ranking is, and you can give yourself a score, and you can track the progress over time. Can I track my YouTube video rankings without using third-party tools? Absolutely. In fact, that's what I'm recommending in this video. Don't use these other third-party tools. Use YouTube Analytics to get the data directly from there, and then just use YouTube Search to see if you rank and keep track of those in your own spreadsheet. How can I compare my YouTube SEO rankings with my competitors? Let me show you an example. So this is for Noelle Randall. You can see that she really dominates the real estate investor become branch. We started out with a 3, we then increased to an 8, to a 13, to a 15.75. She's decreased a little bit, but she hasn't filmed any videos on this branch for several months. But we wanted to look at where she ranked compared to a competitor, Bigger Pockets. And so we just did the same thing. We typed in each one of these questions into the YouTube search bar, but instead of looking for Noelle's videos, we looked for Bigger Pockets, and we have a score. So Noelle's currently ranking at 12, Bigger Pockets is ranking at 10. What should I do if my YouTube videos ranking drops after optimizing for SEO? There's a couple things that you can look at. Because we look at an entire branch, like many of the examples that I've shared with you, there's a lot of different questions. So it's not just one video that we're making to try and optimize for a phrase, but we're picking a branch and we're making 20 or 30 different videos on that branch. Now over time things might fluctuate a bit, but in my experience I've seen a decade go by and still maintain search results. So if the score that you have, let's say it's a 15 out of 30, let's say it's not as high as you want, you can just go after more of those questions, more of those leaf titles on that branch to try and increase your score closer to the 100% or closer to the 30. But here's something else you might want to consider. In the beginning, YouTube might test your video because it knows what the title is and somebody typed in that question. And so it puts your video in front of them. YouTube tracks their performance. It wants to know how well did this person like this video. So if you've got a 10-minute video, somebody clicks on it and they watch 5 minutes, another person clicks on it and watches for 2 minutes, another person clicks on it and watches for all 10 minutes, like what's the average? If your average is above 50%, let's say it's like 60 or 70%, that's a good score, and YouTube's going to recommend your videos to more and more people. So as people do that search, yours will remain at the top. But if over time this average comes in lower, let's say it's only 33%, well, that video might drop down in the search rankings. So you might want to look at that video and think, what could I have done better? Like, how could I have set better curiosity hooks in this video? How could I have made it more valuable? Another thing that you can do is see who is ranking above you and watch their videos. How did they deliver their content? What did they teach? What did they share? What was the filming style like? And just consider, could I implement some of those things in my video? Ultimately, this search engine isn't something that has a bunch of loopholes that we're trying to exploit. We're trying to create content that people are searching for. So when you follow the branch strategy and you find a branch that's got 30 different leaf titles on it, when you look at your competitors, you're never going to find one that's done all 30 titles. So there's always places for you to get started. And when you start to turn those no's into yeses, then go after a few more leaves, turn those no's into yeses, eventually you can dominate that whole branch. If you can understand how valuable this strategy is, you probably want to understand it in more detail. Well, I've created another video. I'll link to it on the screen here. It's called YouTube SEO, the leaf strategy. The leaf strategy is what I use on all channels that I produce. And it's predictable. It's very tactical. So as you watch that video, you'll see how I do this, how I find the right topics, how I differentiate between two different branches. You'll know how to do this and how to leverage YouTube for lead generation. So your videos will rank at the top and then those views will turn into leads for your business. So go watch that video now.